Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Brownstone's Best Business Review. This is your Lunch and Learn Hour, Power Hour. I'm Paulette. I'm a part of Brownstone Worldwide, and you are in the Brownstone Worldwide studios. We have an amazing guest with us today that is actually a part of the Founders Circle, and she is also a part of one of the shows that airs on Cityscape Radio, Are You Listening? As well as BWTV, as well as brownstoneworldwide.com and all things in between Brownstone Worldwide. We have Coach Kiana Shaw that is with us today, and she's going to be talking all things Coach Kiana Shaw, from parenting to her academy to all of the things that help us to be better and amazing parents. And guys, if you have not, let me say this, if you have not seen any of the shows, The Real on Parenting with her co-host, therapist Danielle, I forgot Danielle's last name. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and bring up Coach Kiana Shaw. Hey, girl, come on up here. See, I was already cutting up. Listen.
Danielle's last name is Lipkin.
Cool. I just froze at that moment. So how you doing?
All right. I'm good. Hello, everyone.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. So listen, we got a lot to talk about.
Let's go.
You and I have had conversations outside of the Brownstone. Not only
that are covered under the NDA.
Ooh, that part. So I cannot begin to tell you all how our conversations go and how I am humbled, even in my mature age. You see the gray edges when it comes to parenting, because I am from a different era. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
But what I want to make sure that we do is find out from you, Coach Kiana. We're just going to call you Kiana.
Okay.
The Real on Parenting is you and Danielle Lipkin's show.
Yes.
And it is your podcast, and you all go deep. One of the most recent shows that you did, and that was several weeks ago when the January season began, was you all talked about colorism. Not only that, but you've talked about co-parenting. You've talked about all the things.
Yes.
And some of it, all of it, literally is done with such wisdom and grace, with a touch against it. Just a touch.
That's Danielle. Danielle is the wisdom and grace. I'm legal-ish, right? I'm radio-ish. She kind of keeps me in the good flow of it all.
Okay. And it's the show. Let's dig deep. How did you guys come up with The Real on Parenting? And how, Kiana, did you come up with the level of wisdom that you have in raising your own child? Because because listen, I'm gonna go here for everybody that's listening. I'm getting ready to get the Brownstone fan out. Listen, because listen, I'm from the old school where a child was seen and not heard. I'm also from the old school where if you say something wrong or if you thought it, you might lose your two front teeth.
Right.
If I felt like it and you were not doing what I felt that you needed to do, even though you were uncomfortable doing it, you just might lose your life, and then I'll go ahead and make another one just like you. So
listen, that's exactly what my granddaddy used to say.
Right. So
I'll make another one just like you. If you look at your sisters and brothers, there are 8 of them just like
you. So let's talk about that, shall we? Because I listened to you all shows. Mm-hmm. And you and I have had, as you said, the NDA covers all of that, and we ain't going down that rabbit hole. But listen, let's talk about the parenting and how you parent baby girl.
Okay, so your first question was, how did we come up with The Real on Parenting?
Yes.
And that came about. So Danielle and I had a blog radio with another young lady, Jamie, years ago. It was before Kayla was born, right? She's 10. Mm-hmm. And we ended the show.
Yeah.
Danielle had, was moving, and it was a lot of moving pieces. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, hey, this was a great run. We've done phenomenal here, but we do need the break, right? That and the fact that I needed to sleep 20 hours a day, right? When I was pregnant, my baby took everything out of me. And so the Real on Parenting, Danielle called and was like, hey, I want to do this. And it needs to be a parenting podcast that is really about how to parent Black kids in this world. And it really it kind of evolved into just parenting at all. But we as Black mothers, like, we can't deny that our children need to be raised just a little bit differently, right? But there are a lot of things that our children are raised differently on that it doesn't make sense, right? So some things just need to just be parenting across the board. And so the Real on Parenting is a platform that offers information, resources, and education in a gentle yet realistic way, right? And that guides you to be the best parent you can be. And when we say gentle parent, we don't mean permissive parenting, right? That there is a difference. But as two Black moms who are doing our best, right? Danielle, she parents with her husband. I co-parent with Kayla's dad, right? I always say I'm a single woman, but I am not a single parent. And it's not easy. It's not easy for Danielle and her husband to parent on the same page all the time. It's not easy for me and Kayla's dad to parent on the same page all the time either. And so really just taking a moment to take the resources and the experiences that we have, and me from the coaching perspective, her from the therapist perspective, and we make it work. We make it work.
Okay. And so when I hear you say gentle parenting, like I said, wait a minute, I need you all to go with me here. Like I said, I am of a specific age group where there was no such thing.
Right.
And so when I hear that and I see some of the parenting that is happening nowadays, my eye starts twitching. And
well, I'm gonna say this, because the parenting that happens nowadays did not start nowadays. So when you see me parenting my daughter, I am under the parenting perspective of my parents and my grandparents, right? It doesn't just start. We say kids today, but who raised them, right? Like that's the real thing. And so as we talk about gentle parenting, we really are talking about the parts of parenting where we are parenting in love, not out of fear. Because I think a lot of you got to whoop them, like that is slave stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you should never spank your children, because I think that there are things like if she running in the parking lot, I'm gonna get her, right? She forced my signature, I'm gonna get her, right?
Right. Okay.
And so my job in gentle parenting is to teach her, not don't you ever run in this parking lot, but hey, if you run in this parking lot, you can get hit by a car. That car can crush you. Those tires, that car is bigger than you, right? Like that's gentle parenting, explaining it to our kids. And I know a lot of people go, I'm not explaining all of that. That's fine. If that's how you want to do your household. But I also think that as a community, we have to understand that our kids become employees more than CEOs because they're not allowed to express themselves. They're not allowed to say what's on their mind. So when I allow my daughter to have banter with me and have conversation with me, I am teaching her how to respectfully disagree with an adult. But keep herself in check at the same time.
Come on.
Because you can only say so much, right? And before you whistling Dixie. So we just, see, and this is where Danielle would jump in and go, no, that's right. So
she said,
I do my best.
It's okay.
When nobody's watching me, right? When nobody's in charge.
Whistling Dixie, I'm done.
Listen, because all your teeth can be missing if you're not appropriate, right?
Correct. But
at the same time, that's not a default for me. I don't want to spank my child. I remember when I was pregnant with Kayla, my aunt Cha-Cha, we called her Cha-Cha. Her name was Tamara. And she has since passed on. She passed on literally a couple of months after Kayla was born. But she would call me, hey, niece, how's your baby? How tell me some of your wins. And she wanted to hear about all kinds of things. And one thing that she would say every time was, don't bully your kid. Bullies stand over people and yell at them. because they can't yell back. Bullies hit people who can't hit back. Don't bully your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't bully her kids. Did her kids get spankings every now and then? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But were they afraid to tell her things because they were afraid they were going to get punched in the mouth? No. Right? I want my daughter to come to me and talk to me. I want her to have a healthy love for me. I don't want her to have a fear of me, because the fear is not necessary if she truly loves me. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what gentle parenting is. Gentle parenting is, creating an environment where my daughter can say, Mama, this is not a safe space for me to share this with you. And I was like, what? I teach people to have safe spaces. What you talking about?
Yeah.
They can check out the episode on that, the safe space episode.
Right. I love it.
But at the same time, when Kayla's friends are going through things, she'll be like, I don't know how to help you, but hold on, let me put my mom on the phone, right? That means something to me, because in middle school, it ain't cool for the mamas to be there. And there are times where Kayla's like, I'm not telling you this until we leave this parking lot.
Wow.
I have blocked the parking lot. Like, hold on. Ain't nobody leaving until I find out which one of these little angels has wing. Okay. And so
I love it.
I love it. Sometimes I gentle parent, and sometimes my thug nature comes out.
Comes out. And so it sounds like to me that you have a healthy balance. Like,
not balance, but harmony, right? Because I don't believe in balance in that sense. I think that sometimes, in balance, there's all things equal, but I don't think that that's fair in parenting, right? If I'm baking a cake, I can't put the same amount of sugar as I do flour. I can't put the same amount of, lemon juice as I do vanilla extract, right? So it's not about balance, but it's about, what do you need more of right now? What do you need less of right now? You understand what I'm saying? It's just the balance of what she needs. And if you ask Kayla, she'll be like, yeah, my mom over the top, right?
Okay.
But what she can't say is that she lacks love. She can't say that there's not a lot of mental stimulation. She can't say her mother doesn't make her think in preparation of what she's going to face in the world. She can't say her mama didn't prepare her for the workforce, because she absolutely works for me. She can't say that her mother was physically abusive, right? But she can say she got every hug she wanted. She can say that we prayed together. She can say that she felt loved. She can also say, hey, I had to tell my mama that, she should make her friends wait and not me. We had that conversation about a week or two ago. She was like, I feel like, you tell me to, wait. And I feel like you should make your friends wait. And she was very emotional. Well, I had to check myself. Well, wait a minute.
Okay.
Do I make her wait all the time? So I had to explain to her, because again, we're working in harmony, right? I had to explain to her the day she was speaking about, I was actually on the phone with a friend who was crying. And she was going through something. So yes, I'm rushing you out the room because I'm trying to help somebody, right? At the same time, there are times where it's like, I only give in the dating world, right? I only give people a short amount of time. So when they call, like, you got about 20 minutes of my day, and then I got to move on, because I have my child here. And so if you want to talk to me, you got to call on the weekend, right?
Right.
I have a priority right now. And so in that case, I might tell you to hold on, because I'm only going to give them 20 minutes, right? So it might be a little bit of a different balance where she felt I was being neglectful. I had to explain to her in a very gentle way. Now, a lot of parents will go, oh, you don't need to explain that to your kid. I do. I need to explain it to my kid. Why? Because she's picking my nursing home.
You are crazy.
I don't want her putting me in Shady Acres.
Can't go to Shady Pines. Can't do that. No. That is hilarious. I love the fact that you give your daughter the space to have a voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a beautiful voice it is. An intelligent voice it is. A compassionate voice it is. She, like, everything about me that is good is my daughter, right? She's the best parts of me and her dad. And I never want to stifle that.
Right.
So when I'm gentle parenting, now there are times when I just give the look, right?
Okay.
And she knows this is her opportunity to reset herself. She calls it my mean smile. And I'm like,
you know better.
and she's like, that's your mean smile. No, this is giving you an opportunity to reset before this escalates. Right. So there are moments, but my default is not to hit her. My default is not to bust her teeth in. My default is not to, snatch stuff out the walls and all that. Now, it can happen. Mm-hmm. It can sure enough happen, but it's not the default. Right. That is the extreme based on an extreme situation. And I think that when people hear gentle parenting, they mistake it for permissive parenting, where your children get to do whatever they want, whenever they want. That's not okay.
Okay. So there is an absolute difference, because I've seen clearly, I have seen permissive parenting. Yes. And it is not cute to me. And I think that is where people are.
Serial killers are made. Oh, sorry. Sorry. My bad.
You. But
probably didn't have to say that, but I don't have Tourette's. But sometimes my brain go faster than my mouth, and my mouth can't catch it.
So I have seen, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Your son is hitting you upside the head. He's 3. What's happening here? And and I'm looking at it, and I can see all of the aunties and mimis and grandmothers and grandmas in the comments saying, it couldn't be me. You ought to da-da-da. You don't have to X-Y-Z. So there is an absolute difference. And I'm going to be honest with you. There is a part of that permissive parenting. I'm going to keep it 100. That is lazy parenting.
Absolutely. Okay. And listen, because my mother, who by no stretch of the imagination subscribed to gentle parenting, permissive parenting, her and my dad were absolutely authoritative parents, right? Okay. There was no room for any level of confusion, foolishness. When they spoke, that was that. But my mom said, by the time she's 5, you need to have had, like, you should be able to clear your throat, and she know what that means.
That's right.
You got to get your bluff in before she turned 5.
Right.
After that, it's over. And so I literally worked on that. Like, I want you to hear my voice, and I want you to obey. Right. I want you to understand when we're walking and I say stop, even now, she just stops. Right. There's no delay. There's not another step, because she understands, 1, I have spoken, but 2, everything I do is to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
That you're loved. Yeah. So she doesn't question it. Now, when we get back into the house, she may. And so we had to have that conversation a couple of years ago. I understand that you may not agree, and you have that right because you're a person, but do it anyway. Because when you disagree in the moment, it's disrespectful, it's defiant. Yeah. It's going to get you in trouble. Yep. So go do it. And then you can come back to me and say, Mommy, I didn't think that was okay, because I feel like this, or I wanted to do this. And then we can have a conversation. And I don't mind having the conversation, because I understand she is a person. Yeah. She's a person. And I would never treat her in a way that I don't want someone to treat me.
I like that. Right. I like
that. So if we're treating our children like they're little minions, right? And at what point do we develop healthy and respectful relationships? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't. It doesn't. You're right.
And I am the authority. I'm the ultimate authority in this house. And when she steps out, she understands that there are authority figures, whether it's teachers, whether it's law enforcement. But at the same time, you will be able to communicate your thoughts. And there was a situation at her school, and the vice principal said, I have never seen a kid handle themselves like that. He said she listened. She brought the conversation back. She explained why this wasn't okay. He said, I've never seen a kid handle themselves like that. Absolutely. Because as I'm teaching her, I'm guiding her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is so important. I think for several reasons. I think as you said, you're not a single parent, but you are a single woman. Yes. And you are raising your daughter in your home.
To be a lady.
And to be respectable and not a bad bitch, like you said. and yeah, we're just going to go ahead and put that out there. And I think that it is important for a lot of parents to understand that there is still that space to have a level of decorum when we are training and developing young ones, whether they be ours or not. I think it's important. I shared with you a video right before we during the virtual green room, and we're not going to talk about it. But what I will say is that this person was very clear that he was over the behaviors. He was over this. He was sick of it. And so I've heard that from other educators as well.
Absolutely.
That our students of color are literally going to school just to go. And my son talks about it. My foot is on his neck because you are graduating, and we're not graduating with C's. That we don't do mediocre here. You're going to graduate top of your class if I have anything to do with it. And so he understands that. But when I'm hearing teachers say, this is my last year of educating, and I'm hearing you say that you are teaching and guiding your child to be her best self. So with that, not only are you teaching Kayla, but you're also teaching other people. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. I own a training and development company, KRS Training and Development. And we work with youth, young adults, blue collar workers, and people who have spent time in gated communities, right? Otherwise known as prisons or jails. I like to say gated community because it's just more comfortable when we're talking. And we teach personal and professional development, right? So it's work readiness. It's just all things. Sometimes we have students who grew up in a house full of people, and so they don't have an inside voice because they've always been competing to have their voice heard. We have people who don't know how to resolve conflicts or don't know how to manage their stress and things like that. So we're teaching them things that help them connect their personal development to their professional success. That being said, we've worked in schools as part of after school programs. I've been called in to do assemblies. I've been called in to assist with counseling and things like that. What I find is that there are almost zero consequences for these kids. So we vote people in, and then they make rules, and the kids are no longer feeling like they have to obey the parents because rules say that you got to back up off of us. And so something as simple as get dressed to go to school is now being said, hey, if we're not providing them with clothing, we can't say that they can't wear pajamas. Yes, we can. Right? Because they don't wear them to Coach K's class. Even if they wear them on the other days, I go Tuesday and Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday in pajamas. But when they come to Coach K, they know to be dressed. They know that you cannot wear your do-rag, your bonnet in my classroom.
Come on, bonnet.
You cannot come in here with, your stomachs out. Now, listen, there are plenty of people who don't feel there's anything wrong with it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But for my classroom,
that
and so when you couple the laws that have been put in place along with the lack of accountability from parents. See, the reason why my daughter is the way she is because I take full responsibility and accountability for her actions.
Yeah. Gotcha.
When she responded in a way that was considered a threat, I was like, she said it. She didn't say the first thing, but she said the second thing because that come out right out of my playbook, right? So my accountability to her was, I'm sorry that because I have a very strong flip mouth. I'm real slick at the mouth.
Okay.
I was like, you have seen me respond to people in a way that is without thinking, that is very quick and just and I stand strong and wrong sometimes, right? You have seen that. You've seen that out of me. You've seen that out your dad. So I apologize that I have not always modeled to you how this should go. And now that you're getting older, you're having a learned behavior, whereas mine is a trauma response.
See,
but you don't have no trauma.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't take anything from anybody because I did for many, many years of my life. So I take zero crap now. That being said, you haven't been through anything to need to respond like that. But it's learned behavior. So I had to correct my behavior. So when we have parents who are going, well, I'm the adult. I'm the adult. I know I told you that you can't smoke weed and I smoke a pack of cigarettes every day. I know I told you that you can't have sex, but I got a different person coming in here all the time. That your daddy got different women that he bring around you all the time. But do as we say, not as we do. And the truth of the matter is, what we do speaks so loud, our children never hear what we say. So I had to correct me. I had to take accountability for what I was teaching my daughter, even though it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
Because my actions said, if they say this, we come back to this. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. Absolutely. That's good. That's good. So KRS training and development, you work with people in gated communities and also with schools. But your breakthrough parenting, let's talk about that.
Oh my goodness.
So let's talk about your breakthrough parenting. Explain to us what it is, how you started, because there's got to be a reason why you're bent on helping so many parents differently. We're not going to say better, but parents
apparently
different. It's okay. Yeah.
So breakthrough parenting, I wanted to be able to co-parent peacefully, right? I wanted to be able to co-parent felony free. And I just didn't see it happening, right? Okay. Kayla's godmother took the class and she was like, listen, you need to take this just so that you can learn the skills, right? And I was just, at the time I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to take, he needs to take the class. I'm fine. And she said, well, if you take the class, you can show him. So I took the class because I needed to be able to teach her daddy how to parent better with me, right?
Okay.
That's kind of just how it started. But as my Lord and Savior can attest, every now and then the lessons he teach are to me, through me, for me, not for somebody else. Okay. And so I ended up taking the class. I want to say it was 2 weekends in a row. I had my mom babysitting Kayla because these are like all day classes, like 6 to 8 hours. And I realized, like, oh my goodness, I don't need to be worried about how he's parenting with me. I just need to be worried about how I am parenting. I just need to go be the best parent. So I took the class, and breakthrough parenting is really about understanding parenting styles, what works and what doesn't, and being able to identify those things in my own parenting, right? As it relates, I started teaching breakthrough parenting because I was like, this stuff is good. It's really good.
So what are some examples of that?
So even learning parenting styles of permissive and authoritative, and you know what I'm saying? Like even understanding that my daughter is not mine to control. She wasn't put here to be controlled by me.
Okay.
No more than I was put here to be, or my ancestors were put here to be controlled by slave masters. That's not how this works. These kids are people. They have their own thoughts. And then when you add in social media, when you add in just the billboards on the freeway, they develop thoughts and feelings and perspectives.
Absolutely.
And we don't get to control that. What we get to do is guide it. So I'll ask you a question. So tell me about how you feel about that. Well, what does that mean to you? Well, let me know, if this is making you feel good or bad, right? Every day when I would pick her up from daycare, did anything happen that made you happy?
I love that.
Anything happen that made you sad? Right? Because I want to know. And a lot of times we go, just get in the car. We don't want to hear it. We've had a long day, right? So it taught me to also silence the noise that goes on before I get to her, right? Because sometimes after a long day's work, we listen to radio and the songs are angry or sexual in nature or whatever the case may be. And then we get to our kids and we just want silence out of them. Not out of the music, but out of them. Right? Not out of the TV, but out of our kids. And they need to talk.
Yeah.
So it taught me to silence everything else so that I could prepare myself and I can accept and receive, right? And then I can also give in a manner that is loving and that is interesting, right? Because sometimes it's really hard to be interested in a 5-year-old telling you all about the colors in the crayon box, and then how they got to draw one line with each. I don't care, but I care about my daughter.
Yes.
And I care about the things that are important to her.
Important to her.
And I had to realize that in Breakthrough Parenting, it taught me anything I wouldn't allow a spouse to do to me, don't do to my kid.
Don't do to your children.
Yeah.
I love that. And so ultimately, when I'm hearing you talk about breakthrough parenting, this is not easy.
Oh,
this is absolutely a mental and selective process on a regular.
It's physical. It's spiritual.
Yeah.
It's professional.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It's financial.
It sounds like I've ever done. It sounds like you're more in tune with your child with this process, as opposed to just get in the car.
Right.
I don't want to talk right now. I'm dealing with a whole lot right now. Don't talk to me. And you turning the music up as loud as it can go. And they want to tell you that they had corn dogs and corn on the cob for lunch with milk.
Absolutely. Even something as simple as opening up her car door.
Yeah.
Standing there. Right. Sometimes we just so quick to just let's go that we forget it's a man in the van next to the car. Like, I'm gonna put my kid in.
Yeah.
But we can be so distracted by the next thing and by our cell phones that when it comes to our kids, like we don't even think about their safety. We think about protecting them, from blatant issues, but very subtle things. And if you never take that time to go, let me make sure that you get in the car safe.
Yeah.
You got your seatbelt on? All right, are you comfortable? Right. I remember I used to ask Kayla, you all right? And and a friend of mine said, wouldn't she tell you if she's not okay? I said, I don't know.
Right.
So it's my job to ask. And I asked her throughout the ride. The ride is 15 minutes. You all right? Okay. Let's sing a song.
Okay. Oh, this is so precious. See, this is good for me, right? Because I'm a grandparent now. And things are definitely different, because when she gets in the car with me, if I pick her up from school, hey, Minnie Mouse, how was your day? What'd you do today? Do you have homework?
Because grandparents, I don't know, it's something that triggers in y'all's mind. Listen, we've had this conversation before, and I just had this conversation with my mother. What are you doing other than being my parent? Because I don't understand why you can't answer the phone every time I call. What is going on there?
I don't know. It's just one of those things, right? So like my oldest daughter, she'll call. She calls every day. Like today, she called. She was doing her hair, and she didn't want nothing. I said nothing, not anything, y'all, because we in the Brownstone. She didn't want nothing. You know what she wanted to do? She wanted me to sit there with her while I was working and watch her do her hair as if I were in her home with her while her son was in daycare. Her husband was at work, and she was taking a break from work. She's a school bus driver. And she was watching. I forgot what the name of the time. I said, what are you watching? She was like, I don't know. It's just watching me. I just wanted to talk. I said, but you're not talking. Oh, I just wanted to see your face. I'm like, oh, all right.
Remember when your daughter was little and she would just come sit next to you?
Yeah.
Or she would just come stand in the room with you, and you would be in the bathroom having a personal moment, and here she comes, and you like, you just gonna sit here and watch me take a poop?
Right.
And she'd be like, yeah. Now, there are times, I'm willing to bet, where you miss the little girl. Well, in the hustle and bustle of the day, we still miss our mamas. Yeah. We still miss our fathers. That phone call is her saying, I just need to be connected to the source.
Yeah.
The source of me, the source of love. Remember, her word for God was mommy until she learned it for herself.
Absolutely. Wow.
The representation. Wow. So answer the doggone phone.
Well, and get mad if I don't.
I'm telling you to answer the doggone phone. You, Miss Pam, if you watch it, answer the phone.
I still didn't get it. And she's like, and you know, and I'm thinking, but now I understand, right? And see, it was different for me growing up because I had to grow up fast, right? I was 17 and on my own, and things were different. And I vowed that I would do better. And now I'm learning these new phrases, and now I'm looking at myself and I'm going, okay, so now my son, he's 16, and they tell me, well, mother, you're just so easy on him. And, you know, my baby girl that said, fam, you were just so easy on both of them. No, I was tired. And what I learned over time was is that the things that you're talking about, I ended up doing with my two babies, because number one, I was exhausted. And number two, it did me no good, right? Because y'all was going to do you were going to do what you wanted to do anyway. And I learned that. So why don't I just support that? Why don't I just be? And I think that what I'm hearing you say is it's not about being tired. Right. You're more strategic. More strategic. Yeah. So, and you're also saying something that I think is important. People don't want us to raise our kids against them.
Yes. So what people will say, don't tell your kids that this is wrong. Don't tell your kid that that's right. Mm-hmm. Don't tell your kid that there should be a moral. Don't raise your children in a religion. People want to tell you not to raise your kids in any way that does not justify their behaviors, their lifestyles, right? I raised my daughter as a Christian. Right now, I've had to explain to my daughter how she and her parents wasn't married in this Christian household. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's not about standing in judgment of anyone, but people are like, don't raise your kid to feel this. Don't raise your. They only have a problem with it when it goes against what they believe.
That part.
So you don't get to tell me, because it's my job to guide her in the way in which I think she should go. So if it's my responsibility to guide her. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing it because God just loaned her to me. I am a glorified babysitter. You understand what I'm saying?
Come on.
So I have a responsibility that should I close my eyes today, that she can still get to heaven. Right? Now, that is my belief. You may not believe in heaven. That's all fine and good. But for this house right here, she is going to read every day. She is going to have a mentality of an amazing person. She's going to have a heart of compassion. She is not going to dress any old kind of way. She is not going to be out in these streets acting a fool, at least not because I didn't teach her.
Right.
Now, she has her own brain. There will be a time where she will decide to go away that she wants to go. She may decide, hey, mama, you know what? I think you got a few things wrong on this. And I've discovered something. My job is to guide her as much as possible, as long as possible, to the throne. After that, that's between her and her Jesus, right?
That's it.
But no one is going to tell me, don't tell your daughter that, bad chicks. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm saying I want to raise a child who is filled with the love of Christ, who can go out and be the woman of God that God has called her to be.
Yes.
You don't have to agree with me.
Right.
You're not her parent. So agree silently or agree in your group chat.
Absolutely.
But don't come to me with that foolishness, because I am raising an amazing human being. That is my sole responsibility.
I love that.
It's my soul. If I don't get married until she goes off to college, still my sole responsibility.
Yeah.
That she is my priority.
And then after.
You don't get to guide me in guiding her.
Right. Yeah. And that's the one thing that you have to remember too. We were just having a conversation about my daughter, and I have 3 adult daughters, one that is in college. So we know where she's at right now. But here's what I will tell you is that, as you stated, they are individuals. And the one thing that will happen is that they always return to source. And as you stated, the beauty of it is that you're molding these individuals based on your passions, your beliefs, and you're guiding her in the best way that you know how. But what I really love about what you have said is you took the effort to take classes that made you better for your child.
Yes.
That does not in any way sound like gentle parenting. What that sounds like to me, from someone from a different generation, what I'm hearing you say with gentle parenting and taking it for what it is, and it's a responsibility. You just didn't have a baby, right? Because that's what most people are saying. I had a baby. That's my daughter. You're saying every day you're making a concerted, conscious effort.
Right.
For her
it's
well-being.
Intentional parenting.
There you
Before
go.
this gentle parent, it's intentional parenting.
Yeah.
I can look back over my life and I went away, right? I was a wayward child for a couple of years in the sense that like I was sneaking, I was doing all kind of things. But what I can say is the consistency of my mother and who she is, who she was then, who she is today. There is a consistency in what I saw in being a lady.
Yes.
Consistency in what I saw of prayer. There's a consistency of what I saw in we don't take no mess. We don't have no people in and out of our house, right? Like there was a consistency in that. So I can take all those values, right? Someone asked me, how you gonna teach your daughter to be a wife and you're not one? Because I got a biblical guide.
You have a guide.
And I'm good with that. Absolutely. I saw my mother be a wife to my dad. I saw my grandmother be a wife to my grandfather, both of them be wives to my grandfathers. And I also saw the husbands, right? My grandfathers were amazing husbands, right? My dad was an amazing father. So when we look at all the things, I'm very qualified because I have great examples. That being said, I'm intentional because everything they did, I didn't like. Everything that they did, I didn't think was the right thing. I love, someone said to me recently, I love that your daughter feels so safe in sharing these things with you.
Love that.
Absolutely, because I didn't feel safe telling my mom, I don't like this. Ma'am, this is not okay. I did not feel safe saying that. You understand what I'm saying? But that don't mean my mother wasn't a good mother. What it does mean is that I know that part of my mother's legacy is me building on it. So me being a better mom, just being a better mom, right? And now I got to chase her on the grandma circuit because at some point my baby's going to be a grandma and I got a new blueprint. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I can go back to my grandmother's and them being a blueprint. And my mom is I didn't have my mom's mom for a very long time because she had dementia. But my mother, I can look at her and I go, yeah, my grandma did that with me. Yeah. She followed the blueprint. And so I have a blueprint to follow, but I also know that there's some things, right? Because grandparents are the number one causes of serial killers. Let's just be honest about that. Yeah, I said it, Paulette.
Oh my God.
Y'all let these kids get away with murder, literally.
No, we don't.
I will be the grandma who, I'm gonna let you get away with some stuff, but and my mother has had to tell Kayla, you got to listen to your mama. I get it because Kayla will tell on me. I'm calling my grandma. Like she'll wait till we get to grandma. You know what my mama did today. And I don't have a problem with that, right? Because I also don't believe in the what goes on in this house stays in this house theory.
Yeah.
I think that if we live the way we say we live, we don't have to keep our children hostage to our secrets.
Exactly.
We don't have to hold secrets if we just live the way we say we live, right? So I'm not the what goes on in my house stays in my house. I like freely tell. Yes. Freely tell. Because I'm going to either get better.
I pause. Wait a minute. Excuse me.
The fan has arrived.
The Brownstone fan. Listen, that is powerful, what you just said. She doesn't have to hide my secrets.
She doesn't. Either live right or so that your kids can be free, or risk them, being in a world of trouble because they have this conflict inside of them.
Yeah.
Are we going to do right or what? Ooh. And I'm not perfect. I mess up all the time, right? I can fire off a couple of words and Kayla be like, I thought we didn't cuss in this.
Right. Look at you like, Mama, what what's happening?
Like, do you kiss me with that mouth? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get
What's
it.
happening? What's going on? We have to
So
show
every
beautiful
day I'm a
Kayla.
work in progress, but I
Yeah,
am very intentional. I'm
of course.
intentional. I'm mindful. Her dad and I are not together, haven't been literally since before she was born. It's not my position. It is never her business if I feel any negative feelings toward him.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It is my job to never convey negative thoughts about her father to her.
Mm.
My job is her mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why?
Right.
I don't need to stand in the and your daddy.
He did and didn't do and da da da. Yeah.
Because I did and didn't do things too. So
Exactly.
if we gonna tell it, let's tell it all. Run
Tell it
the
all.
whole replay, not just play the movie. Don't pull
Wait a minute.
clips. This ain't Instagram. We can't treat our kids' lives like Instagram. I'm gonna pull this part, and so you can hear this, so you can read. No.
I need a bigger fan now. Hold on.
Not gonna play with you today. Not the supersized.
The supersized, because you are spilling and overflowing all of the things on today. Listen, you are telling it. Let me let everyone see the young lady you are talking about here in this beautiful photo of you and your daughter, Kayla, who is
she is an employee of KRS Training and Development, and she's amazing. She actually last year 2022 she was like, "Mama, I want to work for you, and I need to make $20 an hour." I was like, "Girl, I'm gonna need an application, a resume, an interview. $20 an hour."
She said, "What now? What
skills do you have?" Right?
Oh wow.
And so a few weeks later, maybe about a week later, I get an email with her resume. And I said, okay. And she told my mother, she said, "Grandma, when I get this little job with my mama," so I'm hearing this, and I, anytime somebody say little, that triggers me. So when I get this little job with my mama, I'll be able to treat you to ice cream.
Oh.
Okay. So I called my HR consultant, Delmar Johnson. I said, "Delmar, can you interview Kayla for me?" And I tell her the background, and she says, "Oh, I love this kind of Cosby Show stuff."
I loved it.
And she did the interview. And I'll play the video. I need to upload the video, but I'm like I'm trying to take pictures of Kayla, and she's like, and then she goes, "Sorry, my mom is distracted."
Oh
and then I was trying to take pictures.
So we got to see this. Now this is just
I'll upload it. I'll upload it tonight. Yes.
Oh, I love it. And so you have built
She killed it, and I use it. I use that interview in my classes because she wasn't prepped. She wasn't prepped at all, right? But she still had to come with it and if we don't prepare our kids like that, we're failing them. Because life comes at them so fast. And if you're not ready for opportunities because, I'm your daughter. Now, when her first day of work, she missed the first 2 days and she didn't call out. She had laryngitis. Just want to put that out there. She did not call out.
We're going to let her have that. Girl, you are an amazing mom.
Hard time. Thank you. Listen, I'm not an amazing mom. I have an amazing kid, right? I'm struggling. I'm trying to piece it together. I call on my village every chance I need to. From my mother to Kayla has 4 godmothers and 2 godfathers, and my dad and her dad. You understand what I'm saying? So there's always somebody that is helping. I'm never in it alone, and I think that's what makes the difference. So often we get to a space, and I work with kids who, their parents are like, you got to go at this alone. Well, have you prepared them to do so? When you put them out at 18, have you taught them how to fill out an application for a job? Have you taught them how to look for an apartment? Have you even encouraged them to have a job in the last couple of years to save money so that they can move out on their own? We can't just keep throwing our kids to the wolves. But the fact that I did
Yeah.
and letting her be interviewed by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And her 9-year-old self nailed it as a 9-year-old can. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's not 30 with
Mm-hmm.
experience under her belt. This was her first situation. And she did an amazing job because when I told her I needed the resume and all that, she went to her village. She called her godmother.
I love
This is
it.
what I need. And her
Mm-hmm.
godmother walked her through. Okay, well then what else did you do? How do you do that? What you know what I'm saying? So on her resume, she's like, I've done modeling. So that last picture in the blue, that
Mm-hmm.
was our end of year modeling photo shoot
And
because
it's
that's part of
beautiful.
our branding.
Oh,
Have a whole company about mothers raising teen daughters. This is part of our branding, right?
yes,
So
absolutely.
your modeling skills from then are translating to modeling skills today,
Yeah.
right? And she was doing, just print advertising, in a magazine stuff. Also, just the fact that she is in charge of like emptying the trash and all of that. Those are skills
Yeah.
they're the only skills she had. So they're
Yeah.
the skills she used for the interview. She's
Right. I love it.
like,
I
I make
love
drinks,
it.
and I'm like, don't say it like that, right? But she just means like, because hey, before I get on an interview, I need my water. She knows
Right.
that.
Yeah. I
So those
love
little
it.
skills become big deals
They
when
do.
they, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
tell the kids all the time, if you've been raising your brother and sister or helping to raise them, you've been breaking up fights for the last 6 years. Put on your resume, you are a conflict
Conflict
resolution specialist.
resolution. Yeah.
Because that's what it is. You've been
That's what
breaking
it
up fights
is.
every day.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Right.
I love it. I
And so
love it.
teaching them, you've been mowing lawns. Don't say you helped your cousin mow lawn. Say
Mhm.
that you provide excellent lawn care and landscaping services.
Come on. We
We
need
gonna help
that.
them.
Yeah.
My
That's
job is to help. I
amazing.
created a whole business around
Yeah.
helping our kids, right? Not just my kid,
Mhm.
but every kid I come in contact with,
Mhm.
be them their best selves. That's it.
Yeah. And our
That's
kids
all I
need
want to
that.
do in life.
And you're good at it. Listen,
Thank
let me
you.
just say this. Let me tell them where they can find you. You can be found on Instagram at Coach Kiana, and I spelled it wrong. Hold on, let me hide it again. Let me fix it up. Listen, I didn't put the A in there, but we're gonna
That's
fix
all
it right
right.
now.
Coach Kiana
Okay,
Shaw.
Coach Kiana Shaw. And your Facebook page is right there, Mothers Raising Teen Daughters on
Yes,
Facebook.
that's my community. We are 25,000 members strong with an average monthly of 18,000 active, right? Meaning they like, they share, they comment, they post. Um, and the ladies are amazing. Every now and then we get a couple of mean girls, and I try to get them out the group as fast as possible. But
Oh
for the
wow.
most part, I mean, but in a group of 25,000, there are bound to be a couple of mean girls,
Of
right? But
course.
the
Yeah.
whole purpose of of mothers raising teen daughters is so that we have a community
Mhm.
where we can have training and development and just being parents. But the best part about the community is that they're helping one another. I
Yes.
don't have to be the person that, even though I may be the ultimate authority, I don't have to be the person that's constantly every day doing all the work, because the moms step in and they help each
Mhm.
other.
I love
And I
that.
think that that's so amazing, because where can you go and find a community of women who are like, listen, I am tired of being a mom today. And you have
Yeah.
people who encourage you and understand what you're going through. Because
I love
let's just be honest, every day is not a great day of parenting. Some
No.
days you don't like your kid. Some
Mhm.
days you like, you know what, I love them, but I don't like them at all.
I don't like you today.
Not at all. And
Mm.
so if you feel that way and you have a community of moms, which is what we have, it's so amazing. So I created the momsuite.com as an extension of that
Mhm.
group, right? Because
Yeah.
that group is a free resource, but
Mhm.
I have master classes. I brought in my insurance agent that I had since I was 16.
Mhm.
Like, she was the first person, and she educated me on not only car insurance, but getting life insurance. She's like, car
Mhm.
accidents are the number one killer of people
Right.
16 to 24. You need to have life insurance, right? And
Right.
so she helped me create those habits. So I brought her in to do a master class.
Mhm.
I have tons of people. Cyber Farida has done a master class for me, and
Mhm.
there's this ton of people, because We got to have expert resources. How do we
That's
talk to
right.
our kids about sex? What should we
Mhm.
be saying to them? Because they're doing it.
They're doing it.
Whether we want to believe it or not, whether
Mhm.
we feel like we've taught them not to or not, the reality is 90% of them are having sex.
Yeah.
So if we're not educating them
Mhm.
on, not just condom usage, because condoms don't protect you from everything.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So having that open conversation, and so the mom suite is there to help moms have
Mhm.
those tough conversations
Mhm.
and love on their kids.
I love it. You are amazing, y'all. Kiana Shaw, Coach Kiana Shaw, is hanging out with us here today. We have about 5 minutes left before we wrap, and I wanted to make sure that we went back through and let everyone know where to find you. Number one, we can find her, Miss Coach Kiana Shaw, at themomsuite.com. Go ahead and check out her website once again, themomsuite.com. And we want to make sure that we're following Coach Kiana at Coach Kiana Shaw on Instagram and, of course, on Facebook, that amazing 25,000 strong Facebook group, Mothers Raising Teen Daughters.
Yes.
Mothers Raising Teen Daughters. You guys, listen. We're honored, first of all, to have Coach Kiana and therapist Danielle Lipkin, got it right, to be a part of the Brownstone community as a part of the Founder Circle, and also our Air Personality community and family, where they have their show, The Real on Parenting. If you guys have not caught the show, I would encourage you to go ahead and check it out.
And
Definitely.
we're number one,
They
2
are
seasons in a row.
again. They are number one again. But you know what though? It's getting close now. It's 3.
That's all right. That's all right. We got a plan.
Number one.
We
Uh-oh.
have a plan.
Oh snap, it's on and popping now. Because listen, the Block Party Awards is coming, and we will be recognizing everybody with that. But I want you to know that your show impacts and reaches. And we are appreciative to have you a part of the Brownstone. But more importantly, outside of that, just the fact that you have cleared up so much for me in our NDA conversations, and helped me to be a better parent, even in the things that I deal with as a mother with adult children.
Yes.
Because that's the thing.
But we did a show on that, I think. I think you interviewed Danielle and I together, and we talked about raising adult or parenting
adult children. And it has been the most challenging thing. And you and I have shared some of those things. And it's been, I'm in a new space as a parent, because one thing that will never ever end is me being a parent, because I have 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son. How did that happen? But they're here. And the eldest is the biggest baby, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And then you got the baby girl that's so independent. But they all have their own personalities, and just listening.
And they still want you to answer the phone when they call.
I don't know about that third one now. She out here, marching and singing and dancing and living her best life right now. But that's the way that it is when you're in college.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it will be all right when the swelling go down, as always. So with that, I wanted to ask, what is your best level of advice before we wrap for parents who are raising children, whether single or not? What would be the best level of advice that you could give them so that they are able to gird their loins about them in the morning and grab a bull by the horns to be the best support for their children?
Okay. So let's see. My advice is be prayed up, because you can handle anything if you start with prayer.
Yeah.
Lead with love, because your children can feel your agitation, and even when it has nothing to do with them. So center yourself with prayer and meditation so that you can lead with love. Make sure that you're developing yourself, because the things that irritate us about our kids are usually things that irritate us about ourselves that we haven't dealt with. Get the therapy you need to handle your trauma so that your issues don't become your kids' issues. haven't handled them.
Mm.
Insist that your kids read 30 minutes a day, every day.
Yeah.
Insist that you all work out, whether as a family or whatever, but 30 minutes of physical activity
A
every
day.
day. Make it a point twice a week to have game night or to watch a movie together, sit
Yeah.
down and have dinner together, because that connection is so important.
Yes, it is.
Let your children see you struggle.
Mm.
It's okay that you cry
Mhm.
over bills or whatever. If they think you always have it, they'll never respect you when you don't.
Come on.
You
Come
gotta
on
let
now.
them see that struggle, because
Mm.
that's real life. And then they
Yeah.
don't feel like failures when they don't have it. They
Mhm.
understand, like, oh man, like this is what mama was crying about, right?
Mm.
And then they also understand, but you know what? Mama got up.
Mm-hmm.
Can't push it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Share the budgeting with them.
Yeah.
Make sure your kids understand the budget. Right
Mhm.
around 11 or 12, they should have a budget. They should be making a grocery list, and they should be going to the grocery store and dealing with the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to put stuff back at the cash register if
Ooh.
if they don't have it all.
Yes.
Um, your children need you to guide them spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
so do so, and that starts with you being guided spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
and prepare them for life.
Yes.
Prepare them for life. I think our kids think that, they're supposed to like everybody. And we all know, I've worked in corporate America several years. There were times where I was like, ain't no way they got the same job and took the same test I took.
Oh,
There ain't no way. So your
been
kids
there,
need to
done
be
that. Yeah.
prepared. They need to be prepared
Yeah.
that everything is not going to look the way they think,
Mm-hmm.
but they still need to give it their best.
Yes.
That's it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, parents, listen, we have had the honor of having Coach Kiana Shaw with us today on Brownstone's
Thank
Best
you.
Business Review Lunch and Learn Hour. The Real on Parenting airs Tuesdays at 3 p.m., the new episodes. However, you can always go to brownstoneworldwide.com/BWTV to catch all of the episodes of The Real on Parenting right here in the Brownstone. We're so grateful to have you and Danielle a part of the family. Listen,
Thank
you
you. Love
guys.
it here.
Yes, I cannot say it enough. And the banter back and forth, it is just so enjoyable as I'm working and I'm listening. So listen, I know we gotta go, but we appreciate the both of you. We appreciate Kayla. Hey Kayla, if she can hear me.
She's in a
And
row.
thank you for the efforts of working with mom. So I'm excited to see you in the March issue of Brownstone Living Magazine.
I'm so excited about that too.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to really enjoy that. So listen, you guys, before we wrap, one last thing. We stated that Coach Kiana, along with the other air personalities, are part of what we call the Founders Circle. If you're looking for more information about the Founders Circle, I would encourage you to head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com and you can check out the Founders Circle.brownstoneworldwide.com for more information about how you can become a part of the platforms known together as Brownstone Worldwide. Listen, it's been real. Stick around, Kiana, in the background. We're going to hang out for a few minutes in the green room. Otherwise, this has been a pleasure. We'll see you on another issue of Brownstone's Best Business Review, the Lunch and Learn Hour. We'll see you around.